The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
With so many people living longer, the fear of outliving your money becomes a reality for many of us. Will I be a financial burden? Will I outlive my money? How will I be remembered? My name is Neil Himmelstein, president of Main Street Planning Group. Please contact me by visiting mainstreetplanninggroup.com. That's mainstreetplanninggroup.com, or call 631-647-4694. I will introduce you to strategies that will guarantee you will not outlive your money, that can guarantee you will not be a burden on your loved ones. Through a collaborative approach, we will uncover solutions that offer tax-efficient strategies, lifetime income, and legacy planning, choice, organization, direction, and education. That is the code we stand behind. Contact mainstreetplanninggroup.com. That's mainstreetplanninggroup.com, or call 631-647-4694. And listen to me every Friday at 3 p.m. as I host the Main Street Code for Financial Success, right here on 103.9 LI News Radio. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. I'm your host, Neil Himmelstein. You can always reach me at 631-647-4694. I welcome your calls. Or the mainstreetcode.com. And if you happen to miss an episode, but you really wanted to hear it, you can always catch me on Spotify at the Main Street Code, or Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. We're always trying to get the information and keep the information out there. And we help hundreds of accountants, attorneys, financial professionals, and clients that need planning in life insurance, are interested in annuities, long-term care, or disability insurance. And we're really protection. We're out to protect you and protect your family and preserve your legacy. That's really what I work on. Not so much as the investment side, but really to make sure that your assets go to the next generation. I think it's so important. Or protect your assets so that you have an income when you need it, or give you an income you can't outlive. So these are some of the things that we do to help you in your thing. I want to talk about yesterday. I got a call from a client. It's been my client for a number of years, and it was such a great call. I feel so good about it. She said her mother she's now 84. She was 81 when they did some planning with us. And her mother likes to watch TV all day and listen to the news, and then at the end of the day calls her and talks to her. Oh, what do you think the market did today? Oh, it was up 300 points. Oh, it was down 300 points. Oh, it was down 500 points. And yeah, it's funny because the mother says, at the end of the conversation, she goes, you know what? I could care less. You know why? Because she used to have a brokerage account. And in that brokerage account, it would go up, it would go down. And every day she was concerned. And when she needed money, she'd have to call her broker up to get a check for money. You know, that bothered her. And it was like, oh, I always got, and then she always had to worry about it, is up or down. So what she did for her mother is we converted it into a payment stream she can't outlive. We did it with two different accounts. She gets 2 checks every month, plus Social Security. And it's over $2,000 a month over her living expenses. She could care less what the market does because her expenses are paid and she's enjoying her life. She moved down to Florida. She's having the best life. She's comfortable. She's protected with long-term care. She has nothing to worry about. Wouldn't that be great to wake up with really nothing to worry about except how am I going to spend my day and how am I going to spend my money? Because I'm comfortable. I don't have to worry if the market's up, the market's down. And we have the products that can do that. And she was so thankful and so glad that she has these checks coming in every month that she doesn't have to think about. Every month, they just come in. Her bills are paid. Not a problem. She doesn't have to ask anybody for money. Isn't that frustrating? I have a very wealthy client that was referred to me 2 years ago who was divorced from her husband. Her husband had a lot of money, and these investment guys are managing her money. And she complained to me the other day, and, one of the things I did was I took care of her insurance needs. I took care of her long-term care. needs that she needed for protection. We did it in a very efficient way that didn't cost her anything. It was just a matter of repositioning things. But her complaint to me is, every time I have a bill, I got to call my broker. She's got a couple $1 million sitting in a bank, but she's got to call her broker every time she makes a move. I don't want to live that way the rest of my life. I don't know about you. I don't want to live that way the rest of my life. It's great to have that income guaranteed coming in, just like I was working, but not working. It just comes in. And that's what a guaranteed income for life does. And you can do that with annuity. And right now, the annuity rates are up so high that you can get such a great income off of your assets. What are you worried about the market for? So take that one off your list. I ask people when I sit down, what keeps you up at night? What keeps you up at night? I know with young people, they're worried about making it to retirement. How am I going to retire? What happens if my kids go to school? I talk to post-retirees. Well, I'm worried about the market. It goes up, it goes down. I can't sleep. I'm thinking about this. Oh my God, there's inflation. There's this and that. Take one of those things off your list so you don't have to worry about that. There's other things to worry about in life. Worry about your health. Worry about your children. But you know what? Financially, if you could take care of one of those worries, if you could take care of that one box, that one check box, you don't have to call somebody for your money. You have that check coming in every month or it's directly deposited into your account. You can sleep at night. You can be comfortable. You worry about other stuff. Take one thing off your plate that you don't have to worry about. That's my New Year's resolution, to get one thing off your plate that I don't have to worry about. If I could get one thing off my plate every year of my life for New Year's, wow, I wouldn't have a plate anymore. Wouldn't that be great? So that's what a guaranteed income for life, that's what an annuity does for people. That's what that protection does for people. It gives you that satisfaction that I don't have to think about it. Now, this woman that I'm talking to was a great planner. She actually bought long-term care insurance 30 years ago. But you know what? The product she bought was not sufficient for her needs. It really had a lot of holes in it. Because when that product came out 30 years ago, it looked a lot different. Little nuances inside her long-term care product, like it was calendar days, like 90 calendar days. It wasn't calendar days. It was 90 days, working days, calendar days. Little details about when she could get access to that care she needed at home. Access to that care. So there was a big gaping hole. The costs back then weren't as much. So she bought like $100 a day, where today would be $400 a day for her care. So she didn't have that protection. So we were able to get her another long-term care program to supplement that. So we reviewed it. So just because you bought something in the past, and you say, oh yeah, I got that covered. It's not true. Because what she needed a little tweaking. And everybody needs tweaking. Why? Our worlds change every single day. Forget about living 80 years, 90 years, 100 times, and worried about outliving our money. Every day the world's changing. Every day the market goes up, the market goes down. Every day there's another war, there's a climate change, there's a tornado, there's a hurricane, there's an earthquake. There's something going on every day of your life. And every day, look at COVID. Wow. Who would have thunk it? That for the last 3 years, we had this pandemic. Never happened before in our lifetime. But who'd have thunk it? But look at the changes it made. We have to take our financial plans, even if we're good planners, and even if we bought insurance and we're doing investments and we're doing everything right, you got to have it reviewed, because everything changes. Look at how our lives change. We have a child, we have a second child, we get married, we get divorced, we remarry. Our parent dies, our sister dies. One of our children's disabled. One of our children has autism. We have to make plans. And those plans, we can't make those plans 100 years in advance, because we don't know what life obstacles are going to face us. So with that, isn't it good to get that phone call to someone and say, hey, they're extremely happy that they met me several years ago? Because guess what? They don't have to worry about the market. They talk about it every day and they say, big deal. I'm comfortable. I hate to feel selfish like that, but really made me feel good to get that phone call yesterday. And I thank the person who called me and shared that story with me and told me how happy her mother was. Yes, she's in Florida, not in New York, unfortunately, but her expenses are met. One thing off the list. You're listening to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. Again, if you want to reach me, 631-647-4694, or look at me at themainstreetcode.com, where we have lots of YouTube videos and information for you. Thank you. We'll be right back after commercial. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. Again, I'm your host, Neil Himmelstein. I hope you're enjoying the show. Prior to the break, we were talking about someone who called me and thanked me yesterday because her mother, who at one time had a brokerage account, she's 84 years old now, at 81, converted some of her money into what we call an immediate annuity, which is giving her a check every month. She actually did 2 of them. So she gets 2 checks every month, plus Social Security, well over her income needs to support her lifestyle. So she saves money every month. At 84, she's saving a couple $1,000s a month. How insane is that? She's got so much income that she's saving money. It's not about how much she has. She has a small little account left, but she also has this other nest egg that she's building still at 84 because we gave her an income for life. So she called to thank me. And every day she speaks to her daughter. After watching the news all day, that's her pastime. She likes watching the news. She likes watching the market. And she says, well, guess what the market did today? Oh, it was down 300 points. I'm okay with that. That's cool. I don't care. She's comfortable. So I'm not saying not to invest in the market. I'm not saying not to do everything in every one basket. But wouldn't it be nice to have that paycheck every month for the rest of your life? And this woman had it, and she said thank you. And she's so happy because she doesn't have that concern. A check off her list. My dad did the same thing. A couple of weeks ago, I had another person who came up to me who thanked me for something I did 10 years ago. And he was a very important person in my community. And him and his wife, we talked about long-term care. That was very important to him. He's a very well-to-do gentleman, had a pension, worked in the school system, was retired, and his wife got breast cancer. And that long-term care policy, and it was an expensive one at the time, it was $4,000 a year, paid out for his wife's breast cancer for 2 years, gave them benefits of about $400,000 or $500,000 in benefits that they had it. She passed away, unfortunately. And he called to thank me. He says, you know what? I have the best long-term care plan in the world. He says, because mine is paid up, I never have to pay again because we put a provision in there that if one of them used it up, that he would never have to pay again. So he has long-term care protection for him for life. He's already collected maybe $500,000 to take care of his wife's care, so it didn't come out of any of his assets. Her care was very well taken care of. Unfortunately, she had passed away. But he's living a very comfortable life. I think he's a little lonely, but that's, at least we checked one of the things off his box, And he called me to thank me. And, that's what makes my life worthwhile. And I enjoy helping people. And that's why I'm in this business, to be honest with you. My son asked me at a young age, his dad, what do you do for people? He goes, what is your profession? 5th grade. I'll never forget this. It really made me cry because I was new in the business, and I said, well, son, I'm not a doctor. I said, I can't heal you, but I can put a plan together to make sure you go to college. And I can put a plan together to make sure if something ever happens to me that you're going to be well taken care of. That not only can you go to college and mom can live comfortably in her house, we have those plans in place. No matter how much I'm making, not making, that's what I do. So I'm not a doctor, but I can help you, okay? And I make sure that you're comfortable. I heal people. I heal people by educating them and providing products that are going to protect them for the rest of their life. And my son ran home to my wife to tell him what I told her, and I got 2 kudos at the time, one from him, one from my wife, which was more than anything, because we were struggling at that time, and now we're good. I got to tell you, that's why I do this business. I like helping people, and people need my help. So with that, I love it. You need insurance in your plan. It's not expensive. It's part of your plan. Everything we do is part of your plan. You need a good advisor that can help you if you're in the market, or you have a 401k, or you need to develop a 401k. There's a lot of changes that just came up in the Omnibus Act. You need that. You need an accountant. You need an attorney. You need a real estate planner. But guess what? You need somebody in the middle that's going to coordinate all these people together. That's what I do. I want to make sure that your plan is your plan and it works for you. You need a team of professionals to help you. But you need that team. You need all the players to talk to the team together. And I don't care if you have 5 all-stars on your team. You have a basketball team and you have the best this guy and the best this guy. If they don't pass the ball to one another, guess what? That team doesn't win. You need a team that communicates with one another and works for you to achieve your goals. And I say that every week, and I talk about it, quite often, how that financial team is so important. So if you don't have a team, give me a call. If you've bought insurance in the past, where you need to buy insurance, call me. Life insurance, disability, long-term care, even if you have bought policies. I've said this time and time again. The market for my products has changed dramatically. I'm on the board of National Association of Financial Advisors for New York State, and one of my missions is to talk to the New York State legislators, which I do regularly, about protecting product for New York. There's a lot of product in New York. There's a lot of companies in New York, but guess what? A lot of companies have left New York. A lot of companies have left the insurance business. We don't need you to have a company that left the business and is not going to be there for you when you need them. Why buy something if the company's out of business and you need them, or you need somebody to call to service you, to pay that death claim, to pay that insurance claim? You need people like me to help you, guide you through that. For instance, if you bought a MetLife term policy, an ING term policy, even a Lincoln term policy, a Mutual of Omaha policy, even if the company's still in business and they left the state of New York, your options are very limited. And yes, they'll protect that product. Or if you bought a permanent product for some of these companies, maybe they're not paying the same dividends they were. Maybe they're not paying the same interest that they are. They're not making the same promise they are. And guess what? You want service on your contract? You have questions about that contract? You try calling that 800 number and getting through to somebody who's going to give you the right answers. They're not. They're not trained. You might be calling somebody in another country, some service person who doesn't know you. And I'm here to fight for you because you're what it's all about. When you have a policy, it's a living, breathing, I don't care if it's a homeowner's policy, a life insurance policy, a disability policy, a long-term care policy, an annuity. It's a living document. And it's got to work for you when you need service. If you want to make a withdrawal, if you want to make surrender, if you don't need it anymore, if you need something better, that's what we're here for. These are living documents and they change. Companies change, things change. You need to have that stuff reviewed and you need to Put a plan together. If you don't have a plan, call us. If you do have a plan, call us. Let's tweak it. Let's look at it. By the way, I don't charge for consultations. Very important to know. If you're afraid to call because you're afraid it's going to cost you money, I don't charge for compensation. All my compensation comes from whatever insurance carrier we put you in. They pay me, you don't. Very important distinction. My consultations are always free, and quite frankly, even if you need service, I don't charge to do that. I don't charge because I care about people. Good stuff comes back to me, and that's what I love about what I do. You're listening to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. My name is Neil Himmelstein. I can always be reached at 631-647-4694. I welcome your comments and questions. Call me anytime, or themainstreetcode.com, or catch me on Spotify or Apple. And thanks again. Have a wonderful weekend. Thanks again.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.